It's a time to build trust.
The water won't be cold, will it, Grandad?
It's only the North Atlantic. Why on earth would it be cold?
It's freezing!
So what drew you to making a film like this?
When I read What We Did on a Holiday, I just thought, this is brilliant. You know, I knew Outnumbered. I knew that these guys, Andy and Guy, have a sort of indelible sense of good taste, great sense of humour, and just this really original way of working, because they'll script something, but then parts of it will have the looseness of improvisation, and parts of it will be sort of very tightly wrought plotting. And I think, you know, to have a family story that deals with some quite thorny family issues, but told with such grace and humour, and then it just goes. The story just takes off in the most epic, sort of marvellous direction, in the way that you just marvel at what's unfolding, and you can see how all the ingredients have been lined up to enable the story to go in that direction, but you sort of can't believe that it's going there, and it's sort of magical and mystifying, and it's got elements of sort of fable and total truth, and I just love it. I love it.
Uncle Gavin, are you rich? This place is enormous.
Comfortable. I'm a short seller.
You sell shorts? You're a short sailor.
Not a short sailor, a short seller.
Can you pull off a good Scottish accent?
Oh, right. Well, my family actually come from Scotland, so my mother is Scottish, was born in Scotland. Whether I can sort of do Billy Connolly as he does him himself, I'm not sure. I wouldn't like to attempt it, but it was pretty great when he would sort of have something in mind. He said, you know, he'd say Amelia Bulmer would be saying something about her costume, and she said, oh, you know, Margaret, she's just always dressed in beige. And Billy said, I quite like beige. He said, there's nothing wrong with beige, the colour. It's beige, the state of mind you have to worry about. And I thought that's very true. And it would just sort of creep in, you know, Billy's sort of charming observations. Yeah.
And the kids are absolutely amazing in the film. How were they prepared for the more morbid or adult themes in the film?
Well, the children actually never knew the whole story we were telling at the beginning. So that was Guy and Andy's way of preserving the freshness. So, you know, every day was a surprise. So they'd know the situation of the scene. You know, you're with your parents, you've been on the road for 5 hours, you're hot, you need a wee, there's no time to stop. You know, what might you ask your mum and dad, your dad's, or you know, your dad's fallen asleep at the wheel, you know, how are you going to rib him for that? And then the children would just sort of let their own imaginations fly. And it was our job to respond, not laugh, which was hard sometimes, and try and sort of contain it and shape the scene. So, and then gradually as we sort of got into the sort of deeper meat of the story, then they learnt about what was actually going on, and the sort of, you know, they had to start appreciating some of the darker themes. But I think Guy and Andy just handled it all beautifully. It's amazing to watch them. I mean, I'm sure that when the DVD comes out, there'll be information on how we went about it, but it's pretty amazing to watch.
And so that's one of the things I was going to ask you. How did you keep a straight face when they're being so funny?
Well, sometimes it's hard. You know, and definitely there are moments where you do collapse into giggles. And then some of the hard stuff is keeping a straight face, because usually when the shot's on the children, you know, we're in the scene, whatever, but when the shot turns round on us, often the children need to have a break. So we would actually be doing our responses to either Andy or Guy, either just being the child, so I'd be sort of talking to my bearded daughter Harriet, or they'd have eyes drawn onto gaffer tape, stuck on their chests or on their arms. So, I mean, that's a whole other surreal dimension that people watching the film will have no idea about.
You steer.
But it's not allowed. I don't think that...
You need to live more and think less. Oh! Well done! I've been trying to hit that for years.
Does the fact that you're a mum, did it affect how you related to the kids?
Oh, I think so. I don't think there was an actor on the film who wasn't a parent. I mean, no, I mean, every child's different. So, you know, my relationship to all these 3 children was different from my relationship with my son. But they were quick to accept. They were very sort of loving, open children who were very willing and quick to accept David and I as their on-screen parents. And And also they became siblings really quickly and organically, which was exciting to watch.
That's good.
And I think they've all kept in touch, and it's really nice.
Oh. And another film you've got coming out soon is Gone Girl, which we're all really excited to see. How was it working on that film with Ben Affleck?
I don't think I can do justice to the experience in probably 30 seconds, but you know, we'll be doing the premiere of Gone Girl in New York on Friday, while What We Did on a Holiday opens in London, and you know, we're really ready to release it to the world. There's a lovely appetite for it, and I think with David Fincher, you know, the dark, intricate material of that novel is in very good hands.
And last question, in celebration of our upcoming style issue, we're asking everyone what their most stylish item is, so what's yours?
Oh, well, at the moment, I mean, you know, it's a whole other ball game because I'm having a baby in November, so every time I try something on, it's too small, or, you know, so I'm in a kind of completely sort of on a style island at the moment, I would say. But this jacket, I'll say, this is a Chloe jacket. It's standing me in very good stead. It seems to tolerate my expanding waistline quite nicely.
Mum and Dad swear all the time.
Okay, but...
Tell that to your poxy effing C word of solicitor, you effing B word.